All right, this is a video for Daryl and Etta showing the mechanical rough ends prior to insulation and drywall. Just came in the garage, so we're going to start out here. And you've got the 3-door garage coming along this wall. Just to the left of the window, there's going to be a receptacle. You can see the lines. The one is feeding outside from there, and the other lines, electrical, coming around and feeding this other receptacle. And then you can notice that one, the feed is going up, and it goes across from there since the window's beside that. Moving over to this wall, you can see where that one's coming down from the ceiling, feeding this receptacle, and also the electrical is going from that one to feed the light in here. And it looks like it's also branching over to feed the garage door opener from here, and then jumps over, does this light, the other garage door opener, and then feeds over here to the final light. All right, while we're up here, you can also see you've got some plumbing from the upstairs bathroom in the ceiling here. There's your hot and cold water lines feeding into there, and the drain lines for the tub and the toilet all coming in that ceiling as well. Going back to this wall, nothing along here until you get to your receptacle, and your main breaker box is going to be located right here as well. A few of them running up, but the majority of those running down, as well as the main feed lines in. Got the rough end for the utility sink in here. And then the electrical and the water lines for the water heater going in here. Moving across, and you got the staircase, and the doorway will be there. And just this is on the back side, but you've got an outlet in your laundry room that's on the back of this wall. The freezer receptacle along this wall, another general receptacle, and then you've got the light switches located there as well. Up here we're going to have a receptacle that's the back of that receptacle going into Daryl's closet. All right, now we're going to leave the garage coming into the house. Just before you come in the door, the back of an electrical panel here, that's your ironing board receptacle. Switches here for and in the hallway, and right beside that you're going to have the back of a receptacle that's the light switch for in your closet. Going into this laundry, this is that switch. The back of the switch is in the hall. You'll have the ironing board outlet. You can see most of those are running along in the wall, and then it steps up, and that line's running in there. Lower outlet here, the back of your freezer outlet. You're going to have a drain pipe right beside that, so keep in mind about 2 feet to the right of that receptacle, you're going to have a drain pipe in the wall. That's a drain pipe from your upstairs bathroom. Going over to this wall, you've got the dryer outlet. You've got the water lines going up to and feeding the upstairs bath in that cavity, and then they also tee off to feed the water lines for the washing machine and the washing machine drain, coming down and connecting over to this area that's below your sink, where you've got the hot and cold feed and also the drain for that sink. The tube going up there is a vent, so that's venting out your plumbing. So it's going up and then goes above head, and it's going to go out the roof. Then in this corner, you've got the backup receptacle that's in your bedroom. and you've got the back of a receptacle here, and that receptacle is for light switches in the hall, and then you've got your security system alarm keypad in there. Stepping back out into the hallway, looking at this little office niche and the hallway space. In this area, you got the back of some light switches there and electrical receptacle. Coming into the closet here, the home office niche, you're going to have a outlet here, receptacle outlet here. You've got under cabinet lighting is going to be in there. You do have phone and data in here as well, and another receptacle. Just to point out, you've got a condensate line here in there, so make sure you don't puncture that. That's feeding the HVAC unit that's up in the attic. And that's very important to keep a tab on that. This closet is pretty explanatory, but you do have the back of that HVAC line in the closet. Make sure that doesn't ever get punctured. The back of a receptacle there for your light switch bank in the master bedroom. And then entering the master bedroom, receptacle down there on the bottom, light switch obviously up here, and the feeds for those. Coming into Daryl's closet, you'll see you've got the back of your laundry room stuff there, so making sure that that's all taken care of. You've got a lot of water lines running down low. The back of two receptacle and your light switches for they're in your garage. Obviously the receptacle in this closet. And that's about it. Coming over to this side, we've got two pipes here. Those are probably condensate drain lines going up to your upstairs HVAC. So you've got a drip pan. They're going to drain into there. And then the back of a receptacle that features a receptacle in your master bedroom. So you can see that there. Panning out. These lines here, that's your home security for the window open sensors. So those are run in and down into the crawl space. And then you've got a wall switch receptacle that plugs or goes to these switched receptacles beside the bed. Phone and data line, and they're going down into the crawl space. That's the other switched receptacle. Then the window, again with the data contact line there for security. Receptacle, and the power for that is being fed from the crawl space. The light switch, or the back of it, for Edda's closet here, and it's feeding up to the light, but the power's coming from below. Coming over on this wall where the TV should probably go, you've got a receptacle fed from below. Phone and TV also fed from below. And the light switch, power coming from below, and the wires feeding up to the lights above. And that's the master bedroom. Looking in Edda's closet, you've got the back of these switch outlet box from the bath and the back of a receptacle line there. That receptacle is being fed from the top, just FYI. Come along this wall, there's pretty much nothing underneath her 1-foot window. There's no electrical, no plumbing in that wall. And then this one, pay attention to this. You've got data and cable coming into the house at this point, pretty much right in the middle of that wall. It's in the third stud over, and then in the fourth stud over from this direction over, you've got your incoming power from the power box on the side of your house and the meter box out there. So take note of that. And then the one wire's feeding up there, that's probably hitting your HVAC unit, the big gray one going up. And then the back of the receptacle there, that's a receptacle in your master bedroom. And then just another wall switch there for this room. Now, stepping into the master bathroom, wall switch, which we saw before, wall receptacle. Then in the linen closet, pretty much nothing going on there. Come over here to your whirlpool tub area. Not much going on in there. And your window. Coming over to here, though, we've got a receptacle there, and the lines are coming from the upstairs in the attic space for that. Come over here, you've got your hot and cold lines. That's the 2 copper pipes sticking up there for the stubs, and the drain. And then obviously this drain has to be vented, so that's the pipe going up, the drain going down. Same thing over here, hot and cold, drain, and the vent pipe going up. And you've just got currently the coiled up wire there to access and put in your future side lamps or sconces. The receptacle, again, being fed from above as far as power, and then the back of a receptacle switch in the toilet closet, and it's powered from below. Switch is going up. In the toilet closet, there's the switch. You have the back of a plate here, a lot of cables in there at about probably 4 feet, 4.5 feet off the ground, and keep an eye on that. And then obviously this is the back of the office closet, so you've got some pipes. The pipe coming down there, that's a vent pipe. Appears to be, yes, that's a vent pipe connected to these other 2 sinks in here. So that's what that is. And you also have power lines for the under cabinet lighting, data and phone backed up here, and just a receptacle box there. You do have the back, and this is for some future expansion. If you ever have problems with any of this stuff, you've got the back of your diverter valve and the main valve, and then the water lines going down in that cavity, and the hot lines going up for feeding the rain head up there. Looking in the shower, this will all be tiled, so you wouldn't have to worry about what's on these exterior walls, but you do have your rain head. They're going to relocate the can light there still, and then again with the main valve control, and then just a diverter here. All right, now we're going to come in and take care of the kitchen area here, so I'm just going to move over to this side. Show you the double oven's going to be over here, so you've got the feed line for that coming out of the crawl space, a receptacle beside that being fed from the crawl space, and you've got the drain, that one's going down into the crawl space, the hot and cold stubs here as well, and then up ahead, above head, we've got one single pendant light mounted to the top there, and the light switch here, which is also going to cover the light and the garbage disposal. So that line there is garbage disposal power. Got another receptacle here and under cabinet lighting hanging loose there. Those power lines are electrical lines are going basically across the wall about a 4 foot high. Come across here, you've got another receptacle fed from below, under cabinet lighting, still going across at about the 4 foot height. You've got your pot filler, cold water line down below. You do have power, which is going to be power for your gas range here, and any vent that's going on there. And then you've got another receptacle and the light switch bank there. Lights going up, of course the power's coming in from below. Across the doorway, got the back of a light switch gang that goes up the staircase. Then beside that is the ice and water for the refrigerator. And then beside that, a receptacle. That receptacle should be good for the refrigerator. And then we go to the countertop. We've got a receptacle here, the microwave above that, all being fed from below. Another receptacle. Moving over into the butler's pantry. Got a light switch there on the wall. Under cabinet lighting here. Another receptacle below that. But keep in mind here, behind that wall, you have water lines in that wall because you're going to have the water heater located just behind that. And on the left here, we do have a pipe in that wall. Probably that is some kind of a vent pipe going on there. Going into the pantry. In the pantry, not much going on, but we've paid notice here. You've got a switch plate gang in that wall. It's on the back. You do have a electrical outlet into your dining room in the back of there, and two receptacles, or a light switch and a receptacle rather, in this corner of your pantry to not be cautious when messing around in those corners. Right in the middle here of this wall is a receptacle, back of one goes into your kitchen area, and then along this wall, of course, is the back of the switch, which is the light switch for the pantry. Coming into the dining room, we do have that pipe in that wall, which I believe is some kind of a vent pipe over there. Lower on the ground there, you've got your receptacles in the baseboards. You do have the back of your electrical panel. It's about 3 feet inside that door along that wall. You're not going to be able to access anything there because there is a lot of your breaker box going in there. Beside that is a receptacle that's facing into the garage, so you know about that. Come across, and under this one, just to the side of the window, low receptacle. And under the window, not much of anything. And then beside the window again, another low receptacle fed from below. Into this wall, you got two electrical cables going up. One's, you're probably going up to feed the lights in here. One's for the outside electrical box probably, and then the other one's maybe feeding some of these other electrical items. So just keep in mind you do have electrical in that wall. Coming across here, you got the door. Up high on this side of the door, you've got the back of what is probably the doorbell, and then below that, security wiring. Then down close to the ground again, you've got the back of a electrical box facing into your foyer. You've got electrical box beside that, feeding this room, fed from below. Right in the corner, you've got a light switch in the living room space. So the back of that's facing here. And down and just a little bit to the left is another receptacle there. So that takes care of the kitchen, butler's pantry, and the dining room. All right, coming in your front door here, on the right, 3-gang wall switch there. All the power's coming from below, and it's feeding up through that wall and to the left. Coming on the right side of the door, you're just going to have this wire, which looks like to be the doorbell wire there. And then that's got that. If we pan around this way, receptacle, alarm, doorbell, the back of the receptacle facing into the dining area down low. Wall switch here with the lines being fed from below, feeding up for the light switches that are in the living room. There's a receptacle also being fed below. Panning around to the right, another receptacle and a light switch, all being fed from below, and that's the kitchen can lights there that will be connected. Panning over to this way, you've got that receptacle that backs up to the pantry. And then panning this way, you've got your door accessing the back porch. Receptacle, electrical wiring going up and down through there, feeding to the switches, to all the lights. Coming across, you do have the contacts on these windows. You've got electrical coming back in this wall here, That's probably for the electrical switch that's out on your back porch. So it's right in between those two windows where it leaves the house. Another contact on the window. Another receptacle there, fed from below. And then a light switch also fed from below. Pinning this way, you're going to have built-ins here, but inside those built-ins, you've got the back of an electrical panel here to consider. The front receptacle that's inside that bookcase there. Down below in the actual bookcase, you'll have a receptacle and the back of a receptacle beside that. Over here, switch for your gas to instant on gas logs. Here you have a power receptacle to run a future TV mounted here, and you do have this orange tube. If I pull in here, you can see the orange tube just goes down and into the right side bookcase. You also have a little electrical cord in there that runs over. Show you the gas lines here. This is the valve to shut that off. And then here's the other end of that orange tube feeding in your HDMI cables and all of that. Receptacle up high in the box that's above the shelving. Down low you've got the TV data cables located here, and you've got power here and the back of a power box receptacle for the secondary bedroom. Coming out of that built-in, you just got a receptacle located here that the power is pulling down. Then you've got your air return, which is a 24 by 30 sized filter. And then the location of the thermostat for the air conditioner is going to be located right there as that appears. Coming in here into your coat closet, you got your data box located here. This looks like the incoming feed, and then all the outbound feeds for data, yellow, cable, white, going everywhere, as well as having all of the contacts for the windows and everything coming into this general location here, and a power receptacle to run the alarm system. Coming into the office, switch bank here, power's coming from the bottom, lights controlled up, receptacle, all the power is being fed from the bottom, the back of a receptacle fed from the bottom, about 3 feet away from that, and that's a receptacle for the bedroom. Another 3 feet, you've got a receptacle feeding in this side, and then in the middle of this wall you do have a line that goes across to feed these other receptacles instead of taking it back to the crawl space. So it's going over, jumping into this receptacle, again jumping up and over, feeding this receptacle in the corner, and then at that point it does go back into the crawl space. Comes back up from the crawl, hits this receptacle, back into the crawl again, feeds this receptacle, and then it goes from there up into the attic. And so just to show you, you've got the can lights in here. Can lights there. This is the last one on the run. So that's number 4. That looks like number 3. Feeding over to here. This one is number 2, and then that one is off of number 2. So there you go. Now we're going to go and do the last 2 bedrooms and baths, and then we'll head up. All right, coming into the bedroom hallway, I'm going to go to the back bedroom first. Coming in here and going around from the left, you just got a receptacle and a TV jack. Both are fed from below, and you've got a TV connection also going up and feeding for external on the back of your porch. In this cavity, one cavity to the left of that, you do have the power going into there. So those are pretty much just above and to the left of the TV box here, or just to the right of that receptacle box is where those are located. Over here, again, contact wiring coming from the crawl space for the window contacts. Receptacle, that one's being fed from the crawl space. Again, with the window contacts here. And then coming over to here, we've got the wiring coming up in this corner and then going around the corner feeding this light receptacle. Just a little bit different wiring there. Instead of coming up in this side, they came up on the left. So take a look at that. And then it goes back into the crawl space. Note, this one actually doesn't feed from the crawl. This one's feeding from the crawl in the same manner. The wire's coming up from the crawl space on this side, going back across that wall at about 2 feet above ground to feed this light receptacle here. On this wall, you've got a switch, a receptacle, and another switch. Coming up, you've got the smoke detector wiring there, and you'll be able to see that in the attic. And then in this closet, you do have one light mounted overhead, and you've got the back of your tub. So the hot and cold are coming from the crawl space there, and you've got the one copper line actually feeding from the valve up to the spray head. Moving on, back down the hallway, there's really nothing in this closet. It's pretty much vacant. The only thing you do have is the back of this light switch and the back of that receptacle in there down low. In the hallway, you've got the light switch, and then we've got the back of this high receptacle and this low receptacle. They're features in your built-in bookcase. We have a receptacle in the hallway. And then on the left of this hallway, you've got the back of a switch plate and the back of a receptacle that are features in the bathroom. Going into the bathroom, we have your drain and vent for the sink, hot and cold water lines coming from the crawl space. Switch, the receptacle, the back of the switch for this second bedroom in here, the back of the data line for cable, and the back of a receptacle there. Then you've got the toilet drain and the toilet feed. Overhead, you do have the vent here, and that vent is going to go out the side of your house. So there'll be a vent of this side just to the past the second window in that second bedroom. So that vent will be the one, if it ever gets clogged with birds or any of that nesting, that's going to be clogging up that vent. Coming back out into the hallway and now entering into this third bedroom. So you've got the back of the fireplace is there, the back of the receptacle low and high, and the TV are all on that wall, just in the general vicinity of where this receptacle is for the bedroom. Moving over into this bedroom closet, you've got the back of your HVAC return air right there in that closet. Make sure you don't puncture that. And then you've got low receptacle that's into the living space there, and down low the back of a receptacle into the office. Then moving along this way, you've got the receptacle in this room fed from the crawl space, the back of a receptacle into the office fed from the crawl space, but then it's up and high feeding around to the other receptacles in the office. From the crawl space receptacle here, and then they brought this one up and around this corner under the windows, and then back up over here to feed this receptacle, and then did the same thing up a little bit and over under this window across this wall to feed this receptacle. And then the TV is there as well, and then the power is going up and over and feeding that light switch. Keep in mind here in the middle you do have this wall backing up to drain line down low, and turns into a vent up above for that, and also the hot and cold water lines for the bathroom sink. That's everything on the main floor. All right, heading upstairs. Switch gang here. About a foot to the right of that, you'll have the back of a switch or a receptacle here, which is actually your refrigerator receptacle. Coming up the stairs, about 16 inches to the right of that, you do have a receptacle here. That's on the counter. You've got the back of your microwave oven receptacle located here. That's about 16 inches above the other one. And then here down low, close to that, you're going to have the back of a receptacle in your kitchen island or counter space there. You do have the light here. You'll see that. This is that other vent pipe that's built in here. I'm going to ask Randall what that is. It's going all the way down to the crawl space, so maybe that's for future expansion. So that is there available because it's not vented out to outside the house. So maybe that's for a future expansion of pipes or electrical lines. All right, in here, coming in this little catch space, do you have some, one electrical line going up that wall. Some electrical lines you can see coming up from the lower level here and here. And then you've got this receptacle on that wall and some lines going up in that location. Going along this wall, up high, you do have some electrical lines in here, which you'll be able to see that. It's going to be inside that little space. Receptacle there, fed up and across instead of from below. Another receptacle there, again, fed up from the top and back over. Very nice. Receptacle here. And your data telephone, or not telephone, but TV line is this white one. So it's run along the back wall. You can see it right back there. And that's run all along, feeding the TV. And then you've got the receptacle there beside it. The lines coming across that wall about midway. Another receptacle. Lines come back up and go across there as well. On this side, those lines are coming over. They feed a light switch here. To have a light switch in that little cubby receptacle along there. Those lines are all nicely tucked up against there. On this wall, you've got just a receptacle here, but it's fed from the garage down below. Receptacle on this wall, right there, it's also fed down from below. You can see that small hole going back down there, down towards the garage. And then it carries along midway along this height and feeds this receptacle here. And on this wall, you are going to have the back of your bathtub. So looks to be about 4 feet in, maybe 4.5 feet in, but it's really 6 inches to the right of that receptacle. You've got hot and cold lines. You're going to have this cross 2x4 that has the valve mounted to it, and then the copper line going up for your sprayer. Come over here, you've got the back of a receptacle gang plate, switch plate for the switches in the bathroom. We'll get the bathroom in a second. Coming over this way, thermostat mounted here, and that's feeding up. Return airs in the ceiling here. You do have a receptacle here coming into this closet. You've got the back of a receptacle located here and the back of a receptacle located there. That's a light switch for in the attic. Coming across to this side, nothing over on that space. An exposed receptacle there and an exposed switch gang plate there. Moving into the attic space, you can see this stuff will all be exposed, so we don't have to go into too much detail here. But you do have that vent pipe there that's in the laundry. It's basically venting out the roof right there. And you do see the corrugated expanding tube over there as well. Going to have one probably just above your pedestrian door, a vent, and that's going to be the vent for this upstairs bathroom. And the rest of this you should pretty much have access to. You've got your vent pipe for the bathroom, the vent pipe over there for the master toilet water closet, and this one is the vent for all of the master bathroom water lines. And then the HVAC goes in right there, and everything looking good. So let's take a peek in this upstairs bathroom. So you come in here, you've got the back of a receptacle down low, you got the back of your thermostat, you got a forward facing receptacle, you got your stubs for hot and cold water, the drain, and then the vent for that plumbing fixture. You got your drain for the toilet, water feed for the toilet, got the shower, and then over here you have the exposed light switches for this room. In the ceiling is, as we explained, that vent, and it's going to go over about over the pedestrian door on the exterior. That's it.